Albany Mayor Kathy Sheehan says the goal is for the Lincoln Towers to come down this year, but funding still needs to be secure. This comes as the city is facing what the state comptroller calls a fiscally stressed situation in Albany for the third straight year.
Our goal is to have them come down this year.
Residents in the Lincoln Towers in Albany South End were fully moved out in January of 2023. And since then, the neighborhood has been waiting for the next step, which is asbestos removal.
With the funding that we have from Senator Gillibrand, our expectation is that the Housing Authority, we're just a pass-through on that. The Housing Authority would start that project imminently and start the abatement as they seek funding to actually take them down.
This neighborhood and this community has been waiting now a couple years for these vacant buildings to be demolished. At one point about a year and a half ago, there was a proposal to put an educational campus here as a part of HVCC, though I'm told that hasn't been talked about since that initial meeting. Instead, there's some that want to see affordable housing. This was debated at length in a Common Council meeting back in January of 2023.
I'm open to new business coming to our community, but not at the expense of 194 units coming out of a area where housing is scarce.
Despite on that day the council voting on a resolution that would have opened the door for HVCC expansion there, that notion has been addressed earlier this year. HVCC says, as a part of a 10-year partnership at what's now called HVCC South, we are committed to listening to community needs and collaborating with local organizations to develop programs that enrich the South End neighborhood. At this time, the college's focus is on growing offerings at that location, and additional development plans will be contingent on ongoing city planning and input from residents of the South End. Sheehan says the price tag for demolition is between $6 and $7 million, which they're still working to secure funding for. One way they hope to build that revenue, a request to the state to include capital city funding in its budget.
This $35 million, just to be clear, represents 0.5% of the value of the state's property in the city of Albany.
Now, in line with that, Sheehan says 20% of the city's budget doesn't grow because of state-owned land within the city's jurisdiction.